Hello, everybody. This is Pat Walker, Mission Winners. Hope you all have a good 3-day weekend. Get away, do other things, come back, recharge, work hard, work smart. But it's good to get away from stuff. Anyway, let's take a look at the ETFs. Weekly on the left, daily on the right. ARK Innovation. And it's just chopping around. What does this tell us? Real quick, and in 1 second, it says there's not a lot of leadership here at this point in time. There you go. Continue onwards. Cloud computing, decent on the weekly. Nice weekly, but a little choppier on the daily. You're not going to see this in any book saying, this is what you look for to go big. It's not there right now. So what's it tell you? Watch out for the, be cautious with the cloud computing stocks. Commodities index, they're lagging. Leave them alone. Don't overthink it. There's nothing there. Just move on. The best setups are one that everybody can see. You know a classic example? The cup and a handle pattern that Bill O'Neill talks about. It's easy to see. Everybody can see it. It increases the potential they'll buy also. For me, clean and simple flat bases. I love them. They're easy to see. A fourth grader could see it and say, oh, look at that. If it takes out that line, that'd be good. Focus on those. You increase your potential. Continue on here. Here's the diamonds, just basing here on the weekly. As you can see, a little choppy on the daily. All right. Needs to take out these tops right here. The diamonds. The Dow, 30 stocks. Continue onwards. Here we go. My mistake. Electronic vehicles. I guess they're all electronic now, aren't they? Anyway, autonomous cars, electric cars. It's kind of hanging in there. It's kind of formed a cup with a high handle. I'll draw something for you to help you here. All right. This is weekly on the left, and it's not fancy. There you go. It's kind of like a cup with maybe it's forming a handle here, and it'll take out that top. Something to look at. There we go. Nothing really great there right now, but just pointing it out to you. Continue onwards. This is, by the way, you can always look at the title up here to see what this is, okay? First Trust Dow Jones Internet, okay? Just kind of chop it around. There's no setup here. Leave it alone. Tells you to say, be cautious with the internet stocks. Done. The IBD 50 was showing life here earlier in the week and then fell right back. What does that say? Those are the anointed stocks. Most of them. They ain't doing too much at this point in time. Tells you to be cautious. Here we go. Dorsey Wright First Trust. Okay. Just kind of chopping around. Nothing really great there. Okay. It's not a slam dunk setup. You're not going to see this in any book saying, you see this right here? This is what you look for to go big. Just not a lot there. Be careful with that. Here we go. China. What does that say? This is why I do this, folks. In 1 second, it says, be careful with Chinese stocks. At this point in time, Chinese stocks are underperforming. There you go. It'll change. All right. Gold miners, in 1 second, stay away from the gold miners. Look, it's bad. Leave it alone. Move on that fast. Gold, chopping around, lifted a little bit on Friday. Nothing great there. Leave it alone. Move on. That's how fast it is. Biotechnology's lagging here. Not a lot of power here, choppy. I'd be careful with biotech. Oil and gas exploration, in 1 second, it says, I ain't touching oil and gas exploration. There you go. See, good investing is knowing what to concentrate on, and good investing is knowing what to avoid, right? That's power for us. That's what we teach at Mission Winners. Things to consider. There's nothing here. Move on. It's not a slick deal. Okay, that's dad humor. You got to have fun too. By the way, team, I will share this with you. We take this very seriously, and I hope you do too, but it's good to laugh too, okay? Enjoy things. Here we go. Expanded Technologies, kind of hanging in there. Looks decent on the weekly. Fell a little bit on Friday. It's not a great setup, so be cautious with technology. Medicine's lagging. Be careful with that. Mid-cap, that's not too bad, is it? That one's hanging in. I mean, do a compare and contrast. Nah, that's okay. Nah, do it again. No, that's okay. Nah. Oh, that's okay. See the difference? Mid-cap's kind of hanging in there, okay? And this is the weekly. It's forming a cup with a high handle, or it's forming another level. I'll just draw it for you. There you go. Could be drawing a cup and a handle right here. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's acting better than a lot of others. The mid-cap, okay. It's telling us there's some strength in mid-cap. Aerospace and defense is hanging in there. That's not too bad, is it? There's no entry on it, but what does it say? Oh, some aerospace stocks may be able to look at them. You can say, how do I find out which ones? Here's a great tactic. Punch up ITA and get the top 10 holdings. Look at those charts. There you go. Now, what's the negative on it? It fell on fairly heavy volume here, rallied on good volume here, fell on fairly heavy volume here, and today, Friday, lifted on no volume, no power at all. Be aware of that. Charts and, just simple charts. Home construction is lagging. Be careful with home construction. S&P 500 growth's kind of chopping around here a little bit on the daily. Doesn't look too bad on the weekly, but there's a ton of overhead supply here, okay? There's not a lot of power there. Be careful with that. IWM, small caps, doesn't look too bad, does it? You can see right here. I just showed you a bunch. They're falling down. This actually closed near the highs for the day on a pickup in volume. IWM could be a candidate if it forms a base. Also, small cap stocks. There you go. Dow Jones real estate, there's nothing there. Move on. Transportation, there's nothing there. Really, move on. Airlines, there's nothing really there. Move on. Regional banking's just chopping around. Kind of has a cup and a handle right here, but it's kind of choppy. There's no setup at this point in time. Okay. Biotechnology, there's no real setup here. I mean, it's just bouncing off the 50-day. It's choppy. It's choppy. Be careful with biotech. Mid-cap's kind of hanging in there. Needs to go across these tops. One plus is the 20-day is rising. Okay. So what could you possibly look at? And I'll show you. And it's nothing fancy, folks. That's the kicker. Right across these tops. What does it need? It needs to lift through these tops with volume. Mid-cap. There you go. MDY. Let's continue onwards. Also, what does it mean? Mid-cap stocks, right? Connect those dots. There's opportunity there. What does this do? In 1 second, it says, stay away from oil services. Done. Don't overthink it. Oh, it's going to bounce here. Let it tell you what to do. Pharmaceuticals bounced up a little bit. You can say, oh, that looks good. Always remember price and volume. How's the volume on it? Fell on heavy volume. Not so bad. Oh, it lifted up. There's no volume on this bar. There's nothing there. Leave it alone. You see this bar right here? It fell on 113,000 shares. On this bar, it went up on 48,000. Ooh, boy, that's it. There's nothing there. It's loose and choppy. Forget it. Stay away from the group. Software dynamics. This lifted up. Volume wasn't having it. And it takes it right back. It's a poster child for a lot of the market. Be cautious with software. NASDAQ 100 found support on the 21-day. QLD. I love QLD. Love QLD and SSO. Maybe it's going to bounce off. Maybe it's going to bounce off the 21-day. All right? That's the blue line. 21 exponential to be specific. Something to watch. Okay? By the way, do you see what we're doing here? We're framing up strength and weakness in the sectors. Areas to maybe look into and areas to avoid. Both of those facts are helpful in making good investing decisions and not losing money. There's QQQ, same thing as QLD. Retail's choppy. I'd be careful with retail. Silver, it's tarnished. Okay, I had to say it. I'm sorry. There's nothing there. Move on. Don't overthink it. Steel, that one doesn't look too bad. What does it need to do? Take out the top of this bar. But notice this. This is also indicative of the market. It moves up, and then they take it right back down the next day. It actually gaps down. Not a lot of conviction. Here's another point. When I say conviction, I mean conviction. People willing to step up to the plate and buy it. How is that measured? In price and volume. There's no volume on that chart. When it lifted up, there's no conviction. There we go. Continue onwards, connecting that. Semiconductors lifted across these tops. Okay, that was good. And you can see it. Volume was good. And then it got choppy. This needs to start to lift back above here. Okay, till it does. Just got to wait. Got to wait. Also note, on Friday, it fell on a pickup in volume. See what it does. Semiconductors, better than a lot of them. Spiders closed. Now look at this. The S&P 500 closed near the highs of the day on Friday on a pickup in volume. Oh, that's a plus. Bouncing off, again, the rising 21-day. And again, it closed near the highs. Potential entry. What does that say to us? It tells us that the S&P 500, maybe there's something there with spiders taking out these highs. Watch it and see what happens. SSO, same situation. You see that? Look at where it closed, right near the highs. I just showed you a bunch of ETFs that closed in the bottom half of their range. Here's the S&P 500 closing right near the highs. There you go. Something to look into for a buy. Solar, there's nothing there. Compare and contrast. You can say, well, that closed fairly strong. Look at this one. You can say, it closed okay, but look at the gap down. There's nothing there. Move on. What does it say? Stay away from the solar stocks. Done. Right here, the treasuries are chopping around. Not a lot of great stuff going on there. Small caps kind of hanging in there, isn't it? Better than a lot of them. TNA needs to lift off. What does it need to do? Lift off on volume. We always study price and volume. How's this bar, folks? It closed down on a pickup in volume. Then it went up on less volume, then it fell off. And then it went down on a pickup in volume. But it closed above where it opened. Support here on the 21-day. What does it need to do? Needs to bounce off here. The blue line's the 21-day exponential. Needs to bounce off here with volume. No volume on Friday. So if you go, if it does lift, just remember, be careful. In fact, I'm going to share this. The market's sloppy right here. Please don't impose your will on the stocks. Err to the side of caution. Please don't think that, we have to always be doing things all the time. No. Measure risk and control risk. Two ways to control risk. One, don't buy, or two, I was going to say B, one and B. How about that? Or two, if you buy less shares. That's a great way to control risk. It works. It's kept me in the game for years. Natural gas? No. That's it. It's done. There's nothing to do with it. Stay away. Tells you something else. Stay away from natural gas stocks. Uranium, down, sloppy. There's nothing there. Move on. Oil, gap down. There's nothing there. Choppy, sloppy. You're not going to find it in a book that's any good, that says it's a good thing to buy. Consumer discretionary is a little choppy. Be cautious. Aerospace and defense doesn't look too bad. Okay? You can see that's acting decent. Biotechnology, lag and leave it alone. Home builders, kind of lag and leave it alone. Materials, there's nothing there. Leave it alone. Communications, kind of hanging in there, but not real special. Okay? Support on the 21-day, maybe. Okay? Energy, another energy ETF. Now we've seen at least two of them, maybe three of them. Stay away from energy. Done. Forget it. Move on. And so, maybe this is where it's going to bounce. I don't want to play the maybe game. And I don't think you do either with your money. Here we go. Financials kind of hanging in there. That's not too bad. Look at that. Actually closed up a little bit today on a pickup in volume. There's not a real clean entry here, but at least the financials are hanging in. All right. Industrials, they're hanging in. Close near the highs for the day. That's good to see. That might be a candidate to watch. Or you could do something else. Find out the top 10 holdings in this. And look, here's the weekly, by the way. It's a big cup and a handle. There you go. Industrials. Technology dropped. It's a little choppy here. Support on the 21-day, but nothing great. Consumer staples is lagging. Leave it alone. Healthcare. Look at that. It's just in a downtrend. Leave it alone. Nothing to do with it. Consumer discretionary is chopping around. Nothing really super there. Metals and mining, a little sloppy. I mean, look, it goes up and then they slam it right back down the next day. Just err to the side of caution. That's all. Another energy ETF. I mean, we've seen at least three of them now. I think it's safe to say, stay away from energy. That's it. XRT is basing here retail. Maybe that'll lift off here. What's it going to need? Power. What else does it tell you? Maybe look at some retail stock. Software is choppy. It's okay, be a little sloppy, and we take it back to the top. So let's go in here and take a look at the MAXLIST stocks. Apple, finding support on the ADMA. That's good. You can say, this looks pretty good. Kind of a cup and a handle. There we go. I'm not saying it's going to work, and it would be nice to have a couple more weeks in this handle to form through, but it's hanging in. Support here on the ADMA. Maybe it'll take out these highs. So there's Apple. Let's continue onward. Amazon. This was a great run. And what did we do? Numerous sells into strength up here. That's a gift. Selling more when it gapped down. Never let a profit turn into a loss. Again, we owned it down here, but that's a huge run. It's just chopping around right now. You'd like to see some more strength. It's still below the 21-day, okay? So not as strong. Here's Alibaba, below the 50-day, okay? I just showed you two, watch this. Apple at the rising 8 EMA. Amazon just below the 21-day. BABA below the 50-day. Which one's weaker? BABA's weaker. Okay, what does that say? There's not a lot of leadership. Leave it alone for right now. That's simple. That's connecting the dots. BIDU's a little bit stronger. Look, here's BABA just below the 50-day. Here's BIDU at the rising 21-day. Which is stronger? BIDU is stronger. Support on the 21-day. But notice this. It gets a little gappy in here. There's a gap here. There's a gap here. There's a gap here. Be careful with all these gaps. Gaps indicate high investor emotions. Just don't get caught in that, okay? It does have support on the rising 21-day. What could be the game plan? It takes out Friday's highs on really good volume, okay? So you can say, okay, fine, Pat, that's where I could buy it. It lifts off. What could be, these are real world tactics, by the way, folks. It lifts off. If it falls back and takes out the highs of this bar, you may want to sell some. And if it takes out the lows of this bar, you'd sell the rest for a very small loss. I'm not saying do that. I'm just sharing an investment tactic that works, okay? Continue onward. Google's really lagging here. There ain't not a lot of power in this, is there? What does that say? There's better fish to fry. Leave Google alone right now. That's it. Goldman Sachs was basing, pulled back here a little bit. Support on the rising 21-day. Maybe it'll lift off. Here's the weekly. Maybe form a cup with a high handle here. We'll watch and see. There's not a lot of power there right now, okay? Also, team, and this is for everybody, please don't make something out of nothing. If it's not there, it's not there. Just let the chart, price and volume action, guide your actions. It will keep you on the right side of the markets and the stocks. Continue onwards. MasterCard, in 1 second, it's fallen below the 50. In 1 second, I'm not looking at it. You're done. Move on. Don't dwell on it. It's not there. Don't make something out of nothing, okay? Here we go. Meta. Now, I just showed you a bunch that don't look so good. Look at Meta. So now it's basing here. What's it need to do? Well, it's basing above the rising 21-day. It'd be nice if for a couple of days it went sideways and then lifted off. But it's exhibiting more power than a lot of other MaxList stocks. The next one, Microsoft, was hanging in here. Right here, ran up. It started to fall. We sold it. We sold it. We're not going to have any major problems. Lift it up again, and then it drops. It's getting choppy and sloppy here. It needs to bounce off the 21-day on volume. Until then, be cautious. Netflix. Look at the volume pickup on that bar. That was a run. Right now, it's just sitting here, basing, still own it. We need to see this lift through here and take out these highs, or preferably push through the 21-day. Right now, it's in no man's land, so be a little cautious with that, okay? I wouldn't be too hung up on buying. NVIDIA, higher low setup. Entry down here, and that, in a crummy market, that was a rocket right there, folks. 150 up to 220. That's it. Watch it and see what happens. It's basing right here. Maybe it'll take out these tops, okay? There's not a real clean spot here. And note also, it fell on a pickup in volume today. Maybe it's going to base and lift off again, but don't make something out of nothing, all right? Let it form some kind of a base there on the daily chart. Here we go. Tesla. You see that base down there? This was on the key list. Is there a clean entry here? Not right now. No, it's a little choppy up here. You just got to wait. So we'll just trend it and see what goes. Anyway, Visa. There's a big tail bar on the weekly, as you can see here. It's just, I'm going to refresh this real quick. Hold on. There we go. It's just choppy. It's just, there's no setup here. You're not going to see this on, you're not going to see this a book from Bill O'Neill saying, you see this setup right here? This is what you look for. It's not there right now. So just leave it alone. Move on. Better fish to fry.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Maybe hit that subscribe button. We come up with new content nearly every day. Also, check out the videos on the right. YouTube recommends the one on the top, and the bottom one is something we thought you might enjoy. See you next time.